Since everyone's taken a risk in performing, some of you for the first time today, thought I would take a risk and perform something that I never perform. Woo! I think it's in there. All right. This poem's called Celebrate the Storm. I just gotta think of the verse. This is for the people who celebrate the storm, cross borders and ignore whenever they are warned. This is for the people who climb up the mountains, never stop lounging, who light up their lanterns. This is for my people who have fought and won, for the fallen ones, and for those who have just begun. This is for journeyers, pilgrims on the path, forgetting the past, finding diamonds in the dark. This is for the kids who can't even write a sentence, but police still try to get sentenced. This is for the poets and the writers, those that inspire us, warriors of the mind, fighting between the lines. And this is for those who know the truth in their hearts and believe it even when the world tears it apart. This is for the migrants who come in on the tides, the stars that advise them to leave their lives behind them. This is for the citizens, First Nations, Indigenous. Our respect for you is just limitless. This is for the critics who said I shouldn't dream. I know you only hate me because you know you can't believe. This is for the party people, Friday night relief. For the DJs who play it loud just to bring us peace. This is for the people who dance to these rhythms just to get the energy to fight the system. Cause you don't know when you will die. So celebrate tonight. And you don't know when light will dawn. So celebrate the storm. And you don't know when you will die. So celebrate tonight. And you don't know when light will dawn. So celebrate the storm.
All right, Josh. Good job.
Go.
Can I request everybody to come a little forward, because I don't think you'll be able to hear the guitar otherwise. Okay. So I really don't know what this is, because this was inspired by a movie called 8 Mile by Eminem, right? It's a rap. It is a rap movie, and was also inspired by, I don't know. At the time I was writing this, I was kind of irritated because most songs that I was listening to were always love songs, and I got sick of it. So I decided that let me make something that kind of like mocks, like, you know, love songs and all that. So it is a bit funny, so if you feel like laughing, please do. Yeah. Let me give you some context. So it's about this guy who falls in love with this girl, but then he thinks that she's seeing other people, and then he just goes into like his old world of, like, you know, imagining things. Yeah. So, hope you enjoy. I never knew that love could be so true, and I'd be standing here getting high on your perfume. Whoops, never mind, it was all in design. In my mind, another dream, never really one for kind. Just gotta say, for the sake of today, the love was just a damn hard to find. I realized when I looked into your eyes, so many guys, a girl like you got way too many side ties. Walked away without a single tear. The ones you were my supposed dear. So I don't bum, letting something clear. You yell out, Lonnie, why did you dump me here? I was furious and curious, the girl loved mysterious. This entire situation became hilarious. Doing wrong, I wonder what I did wrong. Then I began to sing the song. Yeah, every day is just another mistake, and I feel I'm never gonna get a piece of the cake. You know what? I'm a diabetic, love the sick, I said it. My house been broken, never been stolen. Call you up really late in the night. Figured, you know what? Well, I just was mine. But you say, don't disturb serving the laundry day. Go away, man, I've really got nothing to say. Hey, who the hell do you think you are? Who once played you a song on my guitar? You up in my car, but you don't care. All the love you get, you seem to tear. And that just ain't fair. So have a nice life, stabbing people in the back with the knife. You're gonna end up in a hole with holes in your soul, putting up all your cheap ass little shows. One day you're gonna be old and slow, looking for something more, but with all your moles, you ain't gonna get nobody.
And who needs love?
Exactly. To say, I have this really weird thing that when I'm performing, my mouth gets really dry, and that's why I was trying to swallow up most of my words. So I will have a recorded version of this sometime. So, yeah.
You ready? Okay.
Hey, Sonia!
Gets it? Okay, this here. This
Okay, I was moving it away, you know? Okay. So, I'm gonna give some context because, it's kind of depressing, the poem that I'm about to read. Ever since last year we started learning about inflation in econ class, it just depresses me. Yeah. True, you know. So yeah, I was so frustrated during the summer. I was like, what is the point in life, you know? So, and then I decided to make it into a poem like 3 days ago. Okay. Sometimes I wonder, what is the point in a person living? What is the point in a person, period? No suicide intended at this point, but if the universe is big, so infinite, then why should one plan something so definite like economic theories to put down inflation or raise the GDP when one could just ignore the world and spit on the socially set ideals? It sounds scary when 7 billion say phrases like the whole world, but that's the point. The universe is big, so infinite that this planet is definitely not even remotely close to being the whole world. The downfall of humanity is this: the inability to acknowledge the infinity beyond their own mediocre lives. I'm not promoting the global chaos that will follow the rejection of the norms. No one should kill or hurt or steal from one another or cause any kind of moral storms, because not everyone you know feels any form of this remorse for what the future holds. Wars and crimes, staged political debates over dimes, the death of nature over time. What is the point in life if all it brings is destruction through trying to achieve goals that matter in a world smaller than dust? There is an irony to my critical conclusions because of life comes out not only death, but also life. Life comes to an end eventually, whether it is voluntarily or uncontrollably. One forcefully may choose to finish their existence, but is it all so bad? It's selfish to leave a mother whose love is unconditionally pure. The possibility of pain makes me sure that in one's thoughts that are obscure, they'll find a cure to find a lure in life again. Since by making this decision, the escape of fear you seek is undetermined. No human knows if death will bring that certainly orgasmic curtain call that makes your cell walls fall or your entire body crawl like you just chugged a bottle of alcohol. Despite no lives having a point, a better positive perspective on your presence is to play along with fate. Wreck rules, surrender schools, do deeds that make you drool of pleasure, but also of reasonable measures. At the end of the day, this current life of yours is the best shot at a hobby. And that's my thought. Okay, thanks.
Corbin going? Okay.
Alright, so this is supposed to be funny, so feel free to laugh, but it's not funny. So just make me feel better and laugh, please. Alright, and fair warning, there might be a few offensive jokes.
Language warning, no.
I love you. Like a rice farm loves water, and I love you like America loves killing rice farmers. I need you like grizzlies need trouts, and I need you like Trump's father needed to learn to pull out. I like you like trash bins like rats, and I like you like the Pope's toilet loves holy craps. I want you like the government wants to conceal the truth, and I want you like JFK wanted a car with a roof. I sound a bit psychopathic, and it may sound kind of rude, but love songs today are epidemics, and I don't want to be misconstrued. I love my baby and you know I couldn't live without her, but they forced me to make every girl think the song's about her. So in order to manipulate how teen girls think, I need to describe my dream girl as really indistinct. Like, I love you and I hate it when you're looking down. I love your eyes because they're greenish, bluish, grayish, brown. I love the way you smile and I love how your pelvis has a thigh on either side. Oh, I hope you don't think that I'm rude, because you are the girl that I choose. As they hope you don't see through their cleverly elaborate ruse. This song is a giant scheme to cash in on girls' low self-esteem. That kind of love is a machine churned out by a marketing team. It's an illusion, it's all an illusion. They want you to think entertainers are confusing, but they spread their lies through Facebook and YouTube, but they're just as complex as a one-block Rubik's Cube. Oh, so they think you're bold and brash? How should we snatch all of their cash? As Justin Bieber rolls in his salary, Ray Charles rolls in his cemetery. It's quite easy to take advantage of our imagination because we all basically want the same thing. You want someone that's sweet, someone that's tough. Not someone who's not obsessed with their looks, but, well, is insanely hot. A love you can show to your friends without them being attracted to her or him. A good girl, a bad girl, a good bad girl, a half good, half bad, half girl. You want a boy that's sensitive and not weak and is a great lover, calls your mother on the weekends. You don't want a psycho, you don't want a snob, someone who's just a joke or with a dead-end job. We think we can't get any less than our perfect prince or princess. We want our perfect future, our one true love, our perfect wife, or our perfect husband. I think we all know we won't ever get them. In truth, love is your favorite food for every meal for the rest of your life. And love is a kind of drug that you don't have to buy, well, unless you're that type of client. Love is a homeless guy looking for money in the middle of the rain and eventually finding a plastic bag of gold coins in the drain, but then realizing those gold coins are only chocolate. But still, he can't really complain because he was hungry in the first place. Because although we might hate it, true love cannot be marketed or duplicated because it simply doesn't exist.
Whoa.
Whenever I watch television, I'm under my mom's supervision. I wish I could fly to a place where I fly. I am out of my mind, like a robot moved by wine. Why is my life black and white, like a paper covered with graphite? People say I'm crazy, but I'm not studying and lazy. It is not me different, it is your parents indifferent. Not gonna contravene, so you shouldn't intervene. This is my very life, which is always in strife. At least I have disappointed, I'm gonna have my view pointed. World full of study dope. In this mess, we're still a pope. A strong commitment that everything is equivalent. So you are those constant, give me some amusement.
And the idea of raising them properly, and things that I see in the news as far as just people making wrong choices. So anyways, this is my poem. She kisses my lips. Enthusiastic consent? Maybe. I should check.
Thank you, Neil. All right. You guys ready? Yeah! Woo! You want you got some context, or just gonna stand?
Let's just. We can just go. Yeah. Okay. My name is Lila Hayes, and I think I'm depressed. There's an overwhelming heaviness that hasn't gone away.
So don't tell me that I'm just stressed.
It's clouding my mind, and I realize what's happening.
So I muster all I have, and to my friend I do confess.
And they have the foolishness, the audacity to tell me, "You're kidding, right?" Dude, everyone is. Just get some rest.
But I can't just get some rest.
It wouldn't do me any good. I'm trapped in my own amusement park of horror, buckled in on rides of guilt and grief, alone, left alone. Society makes it seem like depression nowadays is normal.
And we shouldn't be ashamed of it, afraid of it.
Why would we be? Everybody says they're depressed every day, so we can all relate to that feeling, right?
Does everybody knock it out of bed?
Not because they're tired, but because it's just too much.
This weight in your chest like a boulder trapping you down?
Does everybody live their lives with no motivation, no inspirations, no passions, decisions, and all things they used to love? Does everybody feel like a burden?
Like a ball and chain that people have to lug around and can't rid themselves of?
Well, I do. I want to die.
Kill me now.
I have crippling depression.
Go die in a hole.
Kill yourself. Phrases we've heard all too much.
Phrases that
Society has made relatable,
common,
treated lightly,
cool,
trendy,
a joke.
phrases tweeted, posted, seen, heard online, social media, a place where today we would rather glorify everything through a looking glass filled with filters and Facetune to a point where anything important immediately becomes meaningless. Scroll, scroll.
Oh, look at that girl. She looks perfect.
Why can't I be that happy?
Why do I feel like this?
Can I just stop feeling? All we seem to care about is what others care about us. Where's Lila?
I can't seem to get out of
I
bed.
haven't seen her in weeks.
I can't see the light ahead.
Did she get expelled?
All I do is sleep.
I heard she's depressed.
I can't seem to eat.
Lamau, she should go see a therapist.
I'm too scared to get help.
Your therapy's for nut jobs.
But my life is just a living hell.
I think she should just go keel over and die.
And I don't know if I can.
Don't say that.
I think I'm gonna quit.
But like, how can you like legit be depressed these days? Like, isn't everyone?
No.
Not everybody is getting knocked out of a boxing ring. Not everybody is dying on a battlefield. Not everybody is in a race. I was in a race against depression, and it was stronger, and it was faster, and it was beating me.
The crowd was laughing for I just wasn't fast enough.
And they were laughing, because they'll never understand how it feels to be suffering, truly suffering, in a generation where suffering is encouraged, where suffering is relatable, where suffering is a joke, where depression is the first thing acknowledged and not the person enduring it. So they went on cheering.
As I slowly slotted into last place, depression in first.
So I'm standing here,
Taking one last view of this hopeless world.
feeling the burden of this life wash away before me.
I'm a wave at its breaking point,
A tsunami that's been building up for years. And I think to myself, one last time, if depression is relatable,
common,
treated lightly,
cool,
trendy,
a joke.
the norm, then why would it matter if just another case of depression took just another teenager's life?
Thank you so much. Amazing. Do you have anyone that would like to take the opportunity? No, please.
Come on, we've grown, we fixed a lot today, we spent time on it. Yeah.
You will? Oh, sweet. All right.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
No swears. I remember.
It's not edited?
Yeah, like mine's inside of my
Okay.
phone. And like my friend Amir sent me a beat. And I was like, I like this. And so I basically just wrote a song about, you know, I was watching a lot of cool movies and I was like, damn, my life is boring. I wish I could be like in like a cool movie. Yeah. So I wrote this short little song. Wait, I gotta take out some speakers. All right. I'm gonna do this a cappella because you probably can't hear the beat coming from my phone all the way over there.
No, probably not.
Alright. I've been on my false beat, starlight love, losing sight of real things for stuff I have not. I'm so sick and tired of earth, I think I've had enough. I've been on the wish list for way too damn long. All these words inside these books weighing me down too much. Riding right on bikes to feel some type of freedom. Backpack full of truths that I can't touch. All these people looking at me like I'm that dumb. I'm too tired of this gray. I feel like some bad takeaway. Drop the dice, see my fate. Only see one side of the play. I know I can relate. If I tried, I'd just slip away. In a big sunny day, where I can't feel the heat on my face. Yeah, okay, that's it. I can make that song. Nice.
How you doing?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Are you going? Fun to get some?
I'm just here to observe.
Yeah, I can make that
Learn
song.
I deserve something. Okay.
All right.
So my poem kind of correlates with what Mr. Farabon was talking about when it comes to consent. And being that I come from India, that's like a huge problem. So like that's what I decided to talk about. So I hope you enjoy. Okay. There are 3 ways in which you cannot solve a problem. You choose to ignore it, you consider it invalid, or you pretend it doesn't exist. On average, 92 women are raped every day in my city, but not by all men. Ask a man about rape and he'll plead, not all men. The average human meets 80,000 people in their lifetime. Assuming half of them are men, out of 40,000 men I will meet in life, maybe 10 of them will ever rape a woman. But it saves the 39,990 that have made me feel a little less human. The cab drivers, the clerks, the salespersons, the passerbys, the rich kids from rich schools, and the cousins and the uncles. We never said it was all bad, just enough of them. But to those enough, and those that enabled enough. I was 4 when my art teacher told me to pull my tunic down before sitting in class. I was 8 when my mother bought me a jacket to go with my sleeveless dress. I am now 17. And when I walk around the market in India, peering into the eyes of every man, trying to correctly identify his intentions, more often than not, I'm let down when his gaze lowers to places it shouldn't. Can you keep a secret? I have a confession to make. I haven't worn a skirt since it happened. My worried mother often tells me I don't want to bring that kind of attention to myself. I have to hide my calves and my thighs, anything a man can find sexually attractive. Now I'm 17 and yet I'm scared. I'm scared that more often than not, we have to follow the entitlement of man. Tell me, dear sir, are my shoulders truly that irresistible? Do my bare naked collarbones seem to be screaming for your defilement? Are you honestly that enslaved to the imaginary seduction? And tell me, dear ma'am, why should I have to wear a salwar kameez? Why am I not allowed to sit cross-legged? And why do all of you have this authority over my morality? What authority do all of you have over me? There are 3 ways in which you cannot solve a problem. You choose to ignore it, you consider it invalid, or you pretend it doesn't exist. It seems to me that every man lives along a spectrum of attraction to a woman, from objectification to disrespect to a sleazy gaze in the marketplace to sexual abuse and eventually rape. So although you might be one of the not all men, these acts live within you and live in the men around you. So either you call it out when you see it, or the way I see it, you remain complicit. And to the other 40,000 women I will meet in my life, either you cover yourself because you believe your body's at fault when it comes to the male gaze, or you teach your sons to step up and break these cultural norms and begin to learn how to listen. If we don't want to start change, then we all remain complicit.
Any other takers? All right.
Okay, my first word is door. It's very easy. Easy to start out with, you know?
Ooh, another one.
What's your last word gonna be? Like,
You can also do door and
Huh?
do door and McDonald's.
Door and McDonald's. All right.
Somehow make something with that.
All right. Okay, so I came to do poetry, but they asked me to rap. I'm gonna try and do my best and hope it doesn't turn out like what was it? Holy crap! I need to keep a rhyme so they know that it's free, so that you realize that I didn't write this earlier. So myself, I've been rhyming for a while. I realize that this is kind of like a rapping style, but it's just something that happens when I speak from my mind. I can't really help it. It's just what I do in my spare time. So sometimes I realize that I feel like my rhymes fall short. They're not exactly the best. Sometimes I feed them to the poor and they turn them back away because it's not even that tasty. Other times they turn them through the revolving door at Macca's takeaway. See, these days I try to be better than before, try and get better than any time that I've been rhyming on the shorelines that I walk across while I'm in Australia. If you start saying more words, I'll be out. So if you keep speaking, then I know that this is not my greatest story or fable. The truth is, I've been really annoyed at that really bad thing. I've been trying to make it better since I started standing on the stage. I realize I can do it any time that I say. Now, the truth is, the best time to rhyme is when you make sure that people listen. And most people really like when it's not so black and white, like juxtaposition. But I've tried to make it clean and clear and real when I speak, so I know that I can hear it. I didn't hear that one that you... Jesus. All right, so I'm here in Vietnam, where I truly enjoy the heat of the seasons. And every morning I try to pray to my Lord and Savior Jesus. But I truly don't. I pray to the rhyming gods. And I know that I find...
different ways
You need
to
to
play
shout
that
it
one.
out. What was the word?
Loins. Mr. Loins.
Oh,
Loins, like not like the other loins. Yeah, so she's, so I keep her rhyming. I don't exactly know what is the point, but I do know that I like to flip a coin. So when she said loins, she meant loins, but the other loins. Not exactly the loins that I thought was near the groins. All right, that's enough.
So this is something I wrote for an English project last year, where we had to choose a topic that we were interested in and then do some research and then create a product out of it. So I guess a shortened version of the personal project. And so I chose gender equality and about all the stereotypes that that we kind of have to live up to in society. And yeah, this is called Ashen to Poppies. She dances through the fields of poppies, breathing in their mysterious sweet scent, their pulsing red blooms reflecting onto her white dress, and as she runs, her hair flows behind her like a golden stream. She talks to the birds frolicking in the field, who chirp happily in reply, because she asks them to teach her how to fly, and they are delighted. The little girl runs to the lone tree, and she perches herself onto the swing that hangs from its branches like a pendant. She giggles as she sways, closing her eyes and letting the universe of her imagination take over. That is the moment she will regret growing older. The swing snaps, and the teenage girl is in free fall, plummeting into the void on the other side of the poppy field. She lands hard on the slimy floor of the abyss. Looking up, there is nothing but darkness. She scrambles over to the wall of the pit, gasping for air, her throat feeling as though it is collapsing. She traces her hand along the icy stones, chilling her to the bone. The sounds of clashing and clunking behind her echo throughout, followed by the slow chanting of voices. Whipping around, the young woman's heart thunders against her chest. A trail of gray males and females walk straight ahead, single file, chained to one another at the ankles. She cries out, begging for a response. Their gaze is unmovable, trained forwards, and their white pupils stare into nothingness. They pay no attention. She closes her eyes, desperately hunting for any recollection of the poppy field at all. She scrapes around the edges of her memory, but they flickered into oblivion as soon as she hit the floor. Years pass in those seconds her eyes are closed, and she opens her eyes an adult. Her tears soak her now gray dress, which is slowly being stained black. Without warning, a force grabs her by her hair and is dragging her towards the trail of the chained. She screams, kicking at the air, trying to find any last ray of light, but it is no use. Her wrists and ankles are shackled, and she sobs quietly as they walk, eyes fixed on her feet. When she looks ahead, her eyes are glazed over, pupils wide and white. Her once vibrant face expressionless, her mind gone cold. If only she had learned to soar.
Anyone else for the last?
This isn't for you guys.
Don't want to hog the limelight, you know.
Luke, got any final words for us?
Yeah, definitely. So first up, thanks so much for having me. Thanks for getting me in, and having the time to spend a full week with you is very rare. I often go to many schools and I don't get a full residency where I can see students develop from absolutely, you know, beginnings to actually coming up and standing up and performing. So I really, really, really appreciate that. I also appreciate that it's really difficult to be creative on call. So those of you who wrote poetry in my classrooms, I really understand what it's like to be like, I'm not in the mood to write a personal poem right now, but I'm writing. So I appreciate that as well. And yeah, I also never kind of take it for granted how powerful poetry can be. There's always some moments in a performance where you feel the atmosphere of the room just shift slightly. And I feel like I felt that a lot this week when someone opened up and said something really powerful in class. For instance, your poem, you know, like we're listening, and then we're finding out the personal side of things. We're finding, you know, it keeps going deeper and deeper, and you can feel the room just go, oh, I didn't think about that before. And that's really how communities are built. Like, it's super simple, but throughout history, we've been telling stories to each other. And I've been to places in the world, like the New Rican Poets Cafe in New York. You can feel the community there is more aware and conscious of other people's struggles and battles and mental health and, you know, issues going on in their community are just cracked open, and nothing is taboo, and there's no, you know, elephants in the room. It's just like we're all on a page together, and it's really powerful. So yeah, I hope that this can spark something, and that the poetry slam later on in the year goes really, really well. And yeah, please, if any of you want to send me poems or feedback or whatever, please feel free to do that as well. Thank you.
Hey guys, thanks everyone that shared. That was wonderful. And we'll do it again.
Thank you, Mr. Lloyd.
Oh, yeah.